I went to my parents' house, Squares. Tommy Lee and the tour manager and Nikki Sixx rode with me to my parents' house around the corner from here to trade out vans. And this was on a Sunday, mind you. And my parents were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But I got the van and away we went. My sister and them, they could tell you a whole different deal, but that's a whole different story to talk to them about. So anyway, here we go. And we go back to the room. I'm like, we're going to get you a room because we're going to party. And so we go to the show. And back then, I was also, how I got into the music business was I was selling tickets. I'd buy up all the front rows and, you know what, supply and demand. Today, now they call it VIP experiences and all that. I was way ahead of that.
You were Damone.
All the way. But I was Max, and I did, people hated me. But back to the Motley Crue thing. So then the show goes, and so I said, well, during the show, what do I do? And they're like, well, you can watch the show. I said, great, I got front row tickets. So not only did I work the show, that picture I showed you in that room is from that show that I took sitting on the front row. They go, you just be back here before when the encore comes. And the crazy part about this show, Motley Crue, was a week before me and the guy who owns DCF Concerts and my wife and her, we went to the Bronco Bowl in Dallas, Texas to see Motley Crue. Because I wanted to see, hey, man, I mean, I wanted to see as many times as I could around here. And I ended up going there. It was cold. And so me and Dave were, we got to the hall early hanging out. And they had a 15-passenger van. The driver goes, hey, you boys cold? We're like, yeah, just sit in the van right there. The band will be in there in a minute. So me and Dave are sitting in this van, not asking for nothing. And then they pop in, and they're getting ready to, leave. And we're sitting there talking to them, and I'm like, hey, I'll see you guys next week. I'm working for you, And they're like, yeah, right, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, once during the show, and it was like a whole reaction, like a total experience that not only am I sitting on the front row watching this band that I've been digging on and that I love, that I'm like, they're in my hometown. It's Nikki Sixx's birthday, and I'm fucking working for them. I'm their runner. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm having a good time. And so anyway, we go back to the motel, and it's full on party, You get the people back there who want to come and hang out. They didn't know nobody. It's their first tour. So they were making friends along the way. And so it's real late at night. So me and Nikki took a walk. And somehow or another, we ran upon this dog, stranded dog. And we were wasted. And so we ended up bringing this dog back to the hotel room and giving it beer and chugging weed in it, smoking. So the next morning, the hotel room looks like a scene from The Hangover. And this dog is up. I thought the dog was dead and snoring and just like stiff as could be. And so we get up. They're getting ready to catch the plane. We take them back. And it comes down to, what about this dog? And so they're like, hey, Max, you ought to keep this dog. And I'm like, okay. So we take the dog, load it up in the van, go to the airport, and they leave, and I have a dog. The dog's name became Motley Dog, and that dog got me into more Motley Crue shows because the fact of the matter is they always wanted to know what was up with that dog.
How long did you have that dog?
I had the dog all the way almost by, let's see, a year and a half after all that before I ended up going to rehab. You know, when people, this is the thing for me, when people talk about the Dirt and Motley Crue and the movie and all that, that's all cool. But I don't need to watch that because I lived it. You know, it's just, and some of us didn't make it, but I was lucky.